Have you ever opened Instagram just to check one thing and suddenly realized that far more time has passed than you intended? You didn't plan to scroll for long. You didn't make a conscious decision to stay. It simply happened, almost automatically. Tonight, let's slow this experience down, not to judge it, not to demonize it, but to understand what is actually happening inside your brain when you engage with short-form content like Instagram Reels. Because Reels are not just entertainment, they create a neurological environment, and the brain always adapts to the environments it spends time in. At the center of this experience is a system in your brain designed for learning, motivation, and survival, the dopamine system. Dopamine is often misunderstood as a chemical of pleasure, but in reality it is much more about anticipation, prediction, and seeking. Your brain releases dopamine not when you receive a reward, but when it expects one. And Instagram Reels are built almost entirely around this mechanism. Every swipe becomes a small question your brain asks, what will come next? Sometimes the video is interesting, sometimes it is boring, sometimes it is emotional or surprising. This inconsistency is not random. It is precisely what keeps the system engaged. When rewards are unpredictable, dopamine activity increases. This is the same neurological principle behind slot machines. You don't know when the reward will appear, so your brain keeps searching. Over time, this pattern begins to shape your attention. Your brain becomes trained to expect constant novelty, rapid stimulation, and quick emotional shifts. Stillness starts to feel uncomfortable. Silence feels empty. Slowness feels like something is missing. Another system quietly joins this loop, the stress response. Fast, emotionally charged content keeps your nervous system lightly activated. Not enough to feel overtly anxious, but enough to prevent full relaxation. Your body remains alert. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your mind stays busy. This is why, after long scrolling sessions, many people don't feel relaxed. They feel mentally tired, unfocused, or strangely empty. Not because they consumed too much information, but because their nervous system never returned to baseline. There is also a deeper consequence that often goes unnoticed. Reels train your brain to receive stimulation without effort. In real life, meaning usually arrives more slowly. Conversations pause. Ideas take time to unfold. Depth requires patience and presence. When the brain becomes accustomed to constant novelty, ordinary moments can start to feel dull. Not because life has become less meaningful, but because the brain has recalibrated its expectations. The important thing to understand is this: your brain is not broken, it is adaptive. What it learns quickly, it can also unlearn, gently and intentionally. Awareness alone begins to shift the pattern. The moment you notice the impulse to scroll, even a brief pause activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for choice, reflection, and regulation. That pause reminds your nervous system that you are responding, not reacting. This is not about deleting apps or imposing strict rules. It's about rhythm. Moments of stimulation balanced by moments of stillness, attention, and rest. Before we end, allow yourself to slow down for a moment. Take a gentle breath in and a longer breath out. Notice your body where you are. Notice the space around you. Nothing needs your reaction right now. Nothing needs your attention to be pulled away. Calm is not something you scroll toward. It's something you return to. And every time you pause, your brain remembers how.